I would like to start with these words of the last song that Swami Kriyanandaji he wrote and sang. It's very short, but I think he sang what we all have felt in our life as well. Through a long and lonely night, I whispered your name. Through the pains and joys of life, my plea stays the same. Tempt me no longer, this world's not for me. I have known all its charms, fold me now in your arms, make me free. These are such beautiful words, and maybe after this I'll play the song, Swamiji singing this for you all. It's very deep when we think about how many lifetimes we've spent seeking truth, seeking light, seeking happiness. How many times we sought it in maybe relationships or money or health or a variety of things. We've gone through many lifetimes in seeking all the things, but we really were seeking God. And the Guru comes to bring us that reality, as Master did, with, first of all, we know the story of that boy Kashi, who Master was with some of the boys at the school, and they were asking, what will happen to me, some of them, will I be a renunciate, or will I marry, or what will happen? And they were just young kids. And the one boy, Kashi, he said, well, what will happen to me? I think he was maybe 12 years old or something like that. And Master looked at him and he said, oh, well, you will die soon. And he felt so badly, Master, that he had to, but it was the truth. He said it. And the boy went away sadly, but then he came back, and I think that's the thing we have to remember. The boy came back, and I think we've played that role in many lifetimes. And he said to Master, will you find me? Will you look for me and find me and bring me back on the path? Such a beautiful thought. And Master first said, no, I can't do that. I can't do that. Then I think it was a test for the boy, because the boy kept pestering him. Then finally Master said, all right, if Divine Mother wants it, I'll do it. He could have done it, but the boy had to keep asking for Master to see he really wanted this to happen. And then what happens? Within 6 months, Master says, I feel the soul of this child, that he's going to be born. Now, that leads you to believe he brought him back fast. And then he went, after some time, he went to a home. I think it was just after that 6 months. And he would go around the streets of Calcutta with his hands up. This is how much he was looking for that boy. Think about it. And the people around him, his helpers, whatever, they thought he was going a little bit off. And Master didn't care. He just kept holding his hands up. He said, I'm looking for Kashi. And he found him. And his hands were tingling, and he went to a home on that street where he felt the vibration of the soul. And he went to the door, and the woman was going to have a child in a few months, and Master told them all about this boy and that he's going to be reborn, and he's a saintly soul. And they believed him. I mean, you don't do that in America, but in India you can do it. They believed him, and lo and behold, this little child was born, and Master visited him again. And the parents gave him his old name back again, Kashi. A master said that when he was 12, he took him or showed him or somehow arranged for him to go and study and complete his spiritual life with a great soul who I don't know who it was, but someone in the Himalayas. And it's such a beautiful story. We think about it, and we think we're alone. No one's helping us. I don't get any guidance. I can't meditate. I mean, I hear it over and over. But once we open ourselves, then the guidance is there. The help is there. The guru is ever trying to just come along. And we know Babaji with Lahiri Mahashaya, he said, I waited 3 decades for you. I waited here for you to come back to me. And he showed him a cave, and Lahiri didn't remember. He shows him an asan, and his disciple, Lahiri didn't know that at the moment, but he didn't remember that either, and he shows him a bowl. He doesn't remember. No, we don't remember. We don't remember. But the guru never forgets. So then he touches Lahiri Mahashaya, and he says, I remember. Wow. I remember. You're my guru. At a certain point, we remember. And he said, this is the cave. This is my cave. That's my asan. I mean, we come to Ananda and we say, hey, those are my guru bhais. Oh, that I know that altar. I know the chants. I know this kriya. I mean, I heard about it before. And we just start to wake up. And then, because his guru touched him, how many times do we have to be blessed? Every satsang, every kriya, every purification, every I don't remember. And the guru just keeps trying to say, don't you remember me? Don't you remember you? Forget about me. Don't you remember who you are? Don't you remember the great soul that you are? And thus, Lahiri remembered from the touch of his guru. And Swamiji was, he was completely in another level of awareness, you could say, of consciousness, you could say. And then he finds the autobiography of a yogi. And Master, how did he get there? I mean, we have to realize the guru's guy, he keeps pushing you. Go here. Talk to that person. Go to the center. And so Swamiji felt at a certain point, he looked at that book, he said, no, I'm not. An American saint? There's no American saints. But there are. He said, there's no American saints. I'm going to put this book back. And then he was near that store again, and he couldn't move. He could only go in that direction of that bookstore. He said he was pushed to go there. And he goes and he finds the same book that he put down before, and he just read it in tears of joy and tears of whatever, but laughter and joy, and then he gets on the bus, he goes across America, and he meets Master. He doesn't know anything about, from past lives he did, but he didn't know anything about gurus and all these things, reincarnation and miracles, and you've heard Swamiji's talks about that. And he meets a yogi master. And you just imagine the moment, and he's 22 years old, he drops down to his knees and says, I want to be your disciple. And that's the guru and the disciple, that meeting. It's like, it's a bond that's forever. It can never be broken unless you break it. And Master talks to him, and then he blesses him at his heart for about 2 minutes. And Swamiji said, from then on, I was completely changed. from that moment. And so this is how it happens for all of us as well. I came on this path some decades ago, and I just thought, you must have thought, you had to, you wouldn't be in the room. I just thought I was fresh out of university, and I had everything. Anything you could have, I had it. I was quite comfortable, but then there was something saying, there's just gotta be something else. Is this it? There's gotta be more to life than just having a house and enough money, a job, and I had all the friends you could ever want. There's gotta be more than going to the mall and watching television and sleeping. And I just thought, this isn't who I am. There's gotta be more, not to life, but to me. And then, lo and behold, immediately, from one day to the next, Master came. Isn't that something? Immediately. But I had to want it. One day to the next, I prayed all night. I just gotta get out of this. I was Swamiji's age, 21, 22. And Master, by God's grace, he came. I just couldn't believe it. And I've told this story, but it's worth telling again. So I was in a store buying some things for my kids in my program, Big Sisters of America. And the children, I was there buying things for them. And so I saw on the counter this booklet. It wasn't even a book, it was small. And it said meditation. Now, I grew up in Los Angeles. This was in the late 70s. And gee, I went, wow, what is that? Meditation. Nobody was meditating. Maybe by then Ravi Shankar had come into America and he was singing and playing, and people were this much of India was getting into America. But talk about, and Maharishi Mahesh Yogi, he was going through America, but that was it. And I thought, gee, what is this meditation? I didn't know one person who meditated. And then I got the little book. Something just said, just get it, don't think, get it. So I think people overthink, well, what is it about? You just get it. So I got that, and I was at the park on my lunch break sitting, and I was reading about meditation, and I just was feeling like, wow, there's something about this. I don't know what it is, but I feel good. And you know what happened to me? Have I told you this story before? I'm so glad I didn't. So what happened to me was down from where I was. I was sitting on a bench, having my lunch, reading this meditation book pamphlet, and down from me was a man sitting on another bench. I couldn't believe he was meditating. He was sitting straight spine. I just was shocked. That was, I thought, my first answered prayer. I had been praying all night long. I said, what is that man doing? And what is this book about? And I ran over to the guy. And he was very poised and, yogic. And I was like emotional. So I said, what are you doing? And the man says, well, I was meditating. I'm just reading. I'm reading. I've always been enthusiastic. I said, I'm reading it. And turned out he taught, and his mom, TM teachers, in 1 week. 1 week. I'm carrying fruits and flowers. I don't even know why you carry the fruits and flowers. I'm carrying the fruits and flowers to my initiation into TM. And what book did they give me? Wow. Not on that day, but soon after. And I went, wow, his face looks familiar. Isn't it? Then I said, I don't understand anything, but his face looks familiar. Then I started doing yoga postures. Wow, I said, I feel good. And then I started I couldn't meditate well, a little bit of meditation. I said, this is wonderful. Each step, this is wonderful. Then the boon of all boons came. Swami? Sorry. It wasn't long after. That somebody, and I know it was Master, somebody told me, Swami Kriyananda. I went, who's he? I mean, I didn't know. What's a Swami? I mean, I didn't know any of these things. He's a great yogi. He lives up in the foothills of the Sierra Nevada mountains. And he trains you. I went, really? I mean, I was just like a child. I got in my car. I drove to Ananda. I didn't know, what is Ananda? My mother kept saying, what does Ananda mean? I said, all I know is Ananda means joy. She said, who is a Swami? Who are you going up there throwing your life away? Anyway, I went. And I meet Jyotish and Devi-ji. I meet Jai-ji. I see these great souls. And then I meet Swamiji. And Swamiji says, this is your home. You should think about living here. Right off, first words, this is your home. And Swamiji I stayed there for a while. He had a harmonium. I never seen a harmonium. He had a tanpura. He would play and sing. And somebody was on tabla, on the side. And he had a gong. And I just, and I love music. I was going, wow, these are all new instruments for me. And he was just awakening our consciousness. Guruji through Swamiji. This is your life. He would show us slides of India. He had been to India. Most people there had never been to India. He said, this is Lahiri Mahashayaji's home. This is Master's house. This is, he showed pictures of saintly people, and we were just like enthralled. Master came to us through Swamiji. And so we ask, what is the promise of the Guru? We have received it. The question is now, what is our promise to the Guru? What is he's already, what else do we need? What is our promise to the Guru? And, Swamiji said, at Mount Washington, it was like a hotel. People came, people left, people came, people left. Master told people don't leave, they left. People came back, they left. And Master wept over one man who left. He said, I told you not to go. The man left. Another lady who said, I found another guru. Now he can dematerialize on one hill and materialize on the other. And Master said, okay, whatever. I love what Swamiji said. Of course, no one ever said they saw him do it, but he said he could do it. And Master said something to her that just, you never want to hear it for yourself. He said, okay, I withdraw my ray. That ray is protecting us. That ray is guiding us. That ray is taking us to God, honestly. And so what do? We embrace what our Guru gave us. We embrace him. When we touch someone's feet, we're embracing the vibration. We're embracing that they brought the teachings. We're embracing that he brought techniques, and he brought us a spiritual family and centers and all that, his grace and blessings. And people are still complaining. I just don't get it. How come this? How come that? How come this? What else do we need but to put our hand to the plow and go for it? And go all the way with the strength of this path, the strength of our techniques, the strength of our gurus. All the gurus, even with Babaji, even anyone who calls to Babaji will receive an instantaneous blessing. Master said to those who think me near, I'll be near. And Lahiri Mahashayaji, I'm with all those who practice Kriya. You have to want it. You have to really want it. It's not with half of the brain wanting it. And finally, I remember this fellow he would have this picture of his guru in front of him when he did his devotions, and he tossed the flower petals on the picture of the guru. And one day he just was going so deep himself in his own sadhana. He was tossing the flowers, and he just went, oh, what's in my guru that's in me. And he just started tossing the flowers on his own head. That day has to come. I heard a talk of Swamiji the other day. He said, you have to become like Babaji. Don't just put his picture on the wall. You have to become that essence of God, to take away everything that you're not until it's just the light of God. As you do that, then that day, the Master will just be waiting. He's just waiting. I had a friend who passed away he was very devout Kriyaban, and I would sit, this was some decades back, I sat with him and just kept reading the autobiography as he was passing. And at one point he opened his eyes, he was in a coma. He opened his eyes, oh, no, I'm not dying anymore. I said, well, how is that? He says, I saw him! I saw him. I saw him. You want to see him? You have to see him. Once you see him, nothing else compares. Let's face it. We're striving for so many things that mean nothing. Let's meditate a moment.